Well, hey everyone, and welcome to another episode with your girl Audrey Codner from ACG Math Tutoring. So, if you are thinking about going after your GED, or if you're thinking about completing the academic portion of the ASVAB, or even the ACCUPLACER, maybe even just want to brush up on a little bit of basic algebra, well, then this is the live for you. So yesterday we were kind of talking about distance as well as midpoint and a little snippet about slope. So now we're going to dig even deeper. So we're going to go into slope, but then we're going to talk about the equation of the line. Now, for some reason, this is a section that usually gets a lot of students, and these are the type of questions that if you see on the GED or the ASVAB, the ACCUPLACER, these are those top questions, those top value questions. I know exactly for the GED, those are definitely a 4-point question, and the more of those you get, and then a great sum of the arithmetic, you will easily pass your GED. So, let's take a closer look and just kind of revisit slope before we dabble into basically graphing the equation of the line, but we need to figure it out first. So as we do, we take a little bit of some notes. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. So we're looking at slope. Remember, slope is basically your rise over your run. So your rise is the change of the y's, and your run is the change of your x's. So you got to rise out of bed in order to run to the bathroom. You know what I'm saying? All right, don't worry. When you get older, you will. All right, so the equation of the line, we're going to be looking at our slope-intercept form. The reason why it's called the slope-intercept form is because that's exactly what you need. You need to find your slope, and you need to find your y-intercept, basically where that line crosses the y-axis. So without further ado, let me slide this underneath so I can get some room and get up close and personal to you. So we are going to look at slope. So let's look at it at, sorry, algebraically. I was about to sneeze and I was like, nope. Okay, so when we're looking for slope, let's say we have these 2 points. We have 2 and 1, as well as 15 and 10. So when we're trying to find the slope, remember, it's going to be the change of your y's over the change of your x's, meaning it's the difference of your y's. So you have your y sub 2 minus your y sub 1 over the difference of your x's. So x sub 2 minus x sub 1. So what you're probably asking, well, what is the sub 1 and sub 2's? Why do you always say that instead of just 1 and 2? Okay, so these are subsets. Okay, so when I look at my ordered pairs, my ordered pairs always comes in x, then y. But since this is the first point, because I like to read from left to right, since that's my first point, this is going to be my 1x and my 1y, the x and the y of the first coordinate. Then when we come over to the second, this is my x and y of the second coordinate. I guess they're trying to get me. There we come. All right, so now all we're doing is substituting, okay? So I'm going to show you how to find slope in 2 ways. So what we're doing is we're taking our y sub 2. Our y sub 2 is our 10. So we have our 10 minus our y sub 1. Our y sub 1 is 1 over my x sub 2, which is 15, minus my x sub 1, which is 2. Okay. All right. Notice what I have in red is lined up versus what I have in, oh, I thought that was green, but apparently it wasn't. Well, we're going to make it green now. What I have in green lines up to what we had in the first coordinate. So now let's put it all together. Let's do a little bit of math. So we have 10 minus 1, not to insult you, but that's 9. Then 15 minus 2, not to insult you, that is 13. So my slope is exactly that, 9/13. So where I start, I'm going to go up 9 and over to the right 13 so I can plot my next series of points. And I just keep repeating that pattern, and eventually you're going to see a nice positive slope. And how do I know it's positive? Because my 9 is positive, my 13 is positive, and a positive divided by a positive gives me a positive slope. So the gradient is going to be positive. All right, good. Okay. Now I said that there's another way. So remember, when it comes down to, I'm just going to put this all in one color. So when it comes down to slope, a lot of us have it memorized as, a lot of us has it memorized as y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. And after a while, you get kind of mixed up with which one's the y sub 2 and then the x sub 1, and then you get lost in the sauce. So what you could do is look at it, since a lot of us read from left to right, why not do that in the same one? So we got y1 minus our y sub 2 over my x sub 1 minus my x sub 2. So since we naturally read over from left to right, we can have our 1 minus our 10 over our 2, which is my x sub 1, minus my 15. Okay, 1 minus 10, that will give me a negative 9. And 2 minus 15 will give me a negative 13. So negative divided by a negative, that also gives me a positive answer. Okay, so no matter what, you're going to get the same answer if you do y sub 2 minus y sub 1, or if you do the x sub 1 minus y sub 1 minus y sub 2, okay? As long as, see here, the 2's and the 1's are lined up, okay? The coordinates of the first point minus the coordinates of the second, okay? As long as they're lined up, it doesn't matter which one you use. You're going to get the same answer. All right, good. Now, let's go to another one. Let's try another one. So, here we go. So let's say 11, 18, and 13 minus 17. There we go. Okay. Joey, This was one of those big pens from way back in the day. I found it at a local grocery store. Okay, this was like the hip and happening thing when I was younger. It's like, I could get 4 pens in one. And I mean, it was just crazy. So it's not anything special, but I know you have that one. But then there was also one with lighter colors. This came in a pack of 2, and I got that on clearance. So, you know, nothing too crazy. Both of them are by Bix. Yep. It's like, you need that? All right, so let me come in here and say hello to everyone. I'm sorry, you know, just been trying just to get all in here. Okay. So, hello, Janice. Hello, Danny. Okay, Sophie, you passed the ASVAB. And there was some graphing. I didn't do it. You know, lowered my score a little bit. Yes, definitely. Okay, at 3 a.m. Yep. Thank you, gift of gab. Thank you. Oh, the X's and O's. So I remember this. All right, Candy Girl, hi. Lisa, hello. Michael, hello. All right, so let's label everything. If this is still a little iffy for you, that's fine. Since this is the first point that I see, this can be my X and my Y, but this will be the X and Y of the first point. Now, some of you probably going to say, well, couldn't I make this my first point and this my second point? Yes, you can. Okay, as long as it's labeled correctly and you're going through the proper channels, that is perfectly fine. All right, so now we have our X and our Y, but this is the X and Y of our second point, hence the sub 2's. So if we go and we connect with our formula, it doesn't matter which one you use, you're going to get the same answer. Okay, so you pick and choose. Hold on, I'm getting all backed up with love stuff. All right, so Janice is saying negative 1/12. Do we agree? Is the slope negative 1/12? Okay. Still working it out, people? Yes, that's okay. All right, so, okay, Pog is saying negative 35 halves. Okay, let's take a look. So if we do, I'm going to do the second one. I don't know, I always have fun with that. So I have my y1, which is 18, minus my y sub 2, which is a negative 17. Ooh, what did she do there? Okay. Then we have our 11 minus our 13. Okay. When we substitute for that y1, our original formula is going to be subtraction. So when you substitute, you're only substituting for the y's or the x's, not the signs as well. Okay, the signs will be negative until we make this transformation here, which is our negative times a negative. So a negative times a negative, this will make things positive. So when that makes things positive, that means we have 18 plus 17. So that's where our 35 is coming from. And then 11 minus 13, that's where our negative 2 is coming from. Okay, good. All right, and Michael got negative 35 halves as well. Good. All right. So Remember, 35 over negative 2, that is the same. I'm going to write the word or. That's the same as saying negative 35 halves. You get to pick and choose which one is going to carry the negative. A great majority of the time, a lot of people like the numerator to carry the negative. But just in case you try to graph something and then you can't go down negative 35, okay, you might have to go up based off of how the graph is given to you, because sometimes people like to pre-draw graphs. Okay, but if you're creating your own, go ahead and knock yourselves out. But if they're giving you preempted, remember, when it's a negative slope, either the denominator or the numerator will carry the negative. All right, thanks. How are you? All right, okay. So now I want to do one more, but I'm going to put a small twist to it, okay? So I'm going to have you guys do it one more time. I know, I'm asking for too much. But if we can do one more, and then I'm going to put a little twist to it. So let's try this. So we have negative 5, negative 16. And the other one is negative 14, negative 5. Oh, she's being sneaky. She's being sneaky. Okay, take your time with it. And it doesn't matter which version of the formula you use. No matter what, it's always going to be the change of y's over the change of x's. Okay, for those that are just coming in, thank you for stopping by. Right now we're working on slope, and soon we're going to be doing a little bit extension by graphing or learning about the equation of a line. And then we're going to end everything up with a little bit of graphing. So if you are trying to get your GED rocking on, if you're trying to get that ASVAB, maybe an ACCUPLACER, maybe you just need some review just before you take your algebra final, because I know some people are taking their algebra finals, like some of them are doing it this week, some are doing it next week, some of them have a couple weeks left. I know us in Maryland, we don't finish until like mid to late June. So it's, yeah, we still got times. All right. So if you're ready to put your answer up, go ahead and put your answers up. Okay, Pog Champion says negative 11 nights when I was younger. Okay, what happened? Why is it when you was younger? Some equations. Okay. All right, so Candy Girl, we have negative 11 nights. Michael R. has negative 11 nights. We have a couple people that are sharing and following the host. Thank you so much. Waiting for the twists. You know, just a little twister. Nothing too crazy. Just a little bit. Nothing to put you in restraints or anything. You know, just a little twister. Okay. Anyone else came up with anything else? Remember, question marks are welcomed. If you're looking at some of this stuff and you're like, I don't know, that kind of tells me a little bit like, all right, Audrey, break it down a little bit extra. More than willing to do that. Okay. So Zach, you're saying 0 and negative 2. Okay. All right. Okay, you're trying to get your GED? Perfect. Perfect. You're going to love what I'm going to be presenting later on. And this, as I said early, this stuff, these are your 4-point questions, because GED, all the problems are not graded exactly the same. They don't have the same value. So like adding and subtracting fractions and decimals, that's considered like a 1-point question. Anything dealing with linear equations, like the slope that we're doing, equation line that we're going to do next, those are considered 4-point questions. So if you can do some of that algebra combined with some of the basic arithmetic, you'll pass the GED. Okay? All right. Okay. So Hitch is saying 11 over 4. Okay. All right. Times in negative 11 comma 0. Okay, 11 over negative 9. Okay. Okay, another follow. Thank you. All right. Good night, Lisa. Pleasure to hear from you as always. All right. So let's map this out. So first thing, this could be my first point, this could be my second point. So that means this is going to be my x sub 1 and my y sub 1, because it's the x and y coordinate of the first point. And this will be my x sub 2 and my y sub 2, because these are the x and y coordinates of the second point. So remember, it's always going to be the change of y over the change of x. When you hear of change meaning delta, change. So it's like this. M is equal to the change of y over the change of x. Okay? So we're taking the difference of your y's. It doesn't matter which one, but whatever pattern you stick till the end. So if you want to go negative 16 minus negative 5, you can do that. So I got negative 16 minus negative 5. Then for my x's, if I started here for my first, that means I have to start here for my first for the x's. So I have negative 5 minus negative 14. Okay. When you minus a negative, it's going to change to a positive. Okay, anytime you minus a negative, it changes to a positive. So those are those basic rules that keeps coming up. So now, has to be, okay. And here's the fun thing. It doesn't have to be. Now you've learned. It doesn't have to be. Right? You'll see. Right? You're going to see the exact same thing. All right, there's a lot of people like, you have to do it this way. No, you don't. You have choices, babes. You have choices. So now, negative 16 plus 5. So if I owe somebody $16 and I paid them 5, that means I still owe them $11. If I owe somebody $5 and I paid 14, yeah, I don't owe them. I overpaid $9. So now my slope is negative 11 over 9. If you did it the other way around, you would have positive 11 over negative 9. And that's fine as well. Both of those slopes work. Okay, questions. Okay, LR, did you get the same answer when you did it with the y sub 2 minus y sub 1? Okay, good, Janice. I see. See? No, gotta trust yourself, Janice. Like I've been saying most of the day, I really should be saying it more. I gotta trust and believe. I gotta trust and believe. Okay? The more that we trust and believe in ourselves, man, what a force to be reckoned with. Okay? Too many people telling you that you can't. But who's telling you that you can? Who's telling you? I can tell you, but you only see me like for, I don't know, an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. Well, not 2 hours tonight. No, an hour and a half. Okay, all right. Yep. So that's what you're doing. Remember, the y's, the difference of your y's over the difference of your x's. Okay? This whole concept of y over x is also going to trail off and follow you into Algebra 2. It'll follow you into geometry. It'll follow you into pre-calculus. It'll follow you into calculus if you get that far. Yeah. And they constantly change the names of it, but the philosophy is still the same. Okay? All right? Talk about sine over cosine. Sine's your y's. Cosine's your x's. If you think about the coordinate points. Anywho, we'll talk about that later. Okay. All right. God is good. I appreciate that. But isn't it nice to have that option, God is good? Isn't it? All right. So, the twist. Let's say, and of course I am going to pick this. Let's say we want to find the equation of a line that contains these 2 points and has this slope. So this is going to be a little technical, but I truly believe we can handle it. So what we're actually going to be using is anytime they say equation of a line, you should be thinking of y equals mx plus b. Okay? This is what's called slope-intercept form. And the reason why they call it slope-intercept form, because you need those 2 things. You need your slope, which is your m, as well as you need what's called the y-intercept, which is represented by b. So we already did the hard work to finding the slope. And we're going to use that last equation that we just did. And you're like, Audrey, but it's a fraction. I know. We have to get over our fears of fractions, people. Yeah. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to replace that negative 11/9 in for m for the slope. And instead of us taking our calculators, trying to figure out what is the y-intercept, we're going to use one of those 2 points. And it doesn't matter which one. Heck, I'll even show you both, okay? In order for us to use that information for us to find our y-intercept. So, let's get to plugging away. I'm going to use this first point, -5, -16. The -5, that's the x. The -16, that's the y. And that's what we're going to use to plug and substitute for the x and y in this equation. So that means I'm going to put it slightly over here because I'm going to put both points. But we're going to do 1 point at a time. So the y value of that point was a -16. The slope was a -11/9. The x value was from the point, which is a -5. And then we have our plus b. That's what we're trying to find. Yep, all we're doing is substituting. Yep. Okay. I'm not doing integration. Sorry. I know. It's probably something really simple. Okay. So 9, yes, it can be y sub 2 minus y sub 1, x sub 2 minus x sub 1. Yes, you will get the same exact answer, although you might have your denominator be a -9. But remember, when you're dealing with the negative slope, you get to pick. Is it the numerator or the denominator that's going to carry that negative? Okay. All right. So now, let's get to it. Notice I put a parenthesis around the -5 because in the original equation, it's m times x. If you don't see a plus or minus sign between like the number and the variable or two variables, that means multiplication. So now we're going to multiply this fraction with this whole number. And if you want, you can make that whole number into a fraction to even things out by putting that -5 over a +1. The reason why we use like dividing by 1, because it doesn't change the value of the -5, but it just helps us to do the multiplying straight across. So now we have -16 equals a negative times a negative gives me positive. 11 times 5 gives me 55. And 9 times 1, not to insult your intelligence, it is 9. And I bring down the plus b. Okay. All right, how are we feeling? All right, are we breathing? Okay. So now, okay, that's what you got, good. Because sometimes I say some stuff. All right, good. Why'd they turn positive? Good question. Because when we're dealing with the rulings of multiplication, when the signs are the same, your answer is always going to be positive. So even when you have a positive multiplied by a positive, your answer is going to be positive. Negative times a negative will also give me a positive. Okay. Now, since we want to isolate our b, that means we need to get rid of this 55/9. So since it's a positive 55/9, what we're going to do is we're going to subtract 55/9. I know some people are like, make it into a mixed number. This will make it so much easier, guys. 55/9. Now, the reason why I put it all the way over here is because if I'm going to combine negative 55/9 with a -16, remember, when you're adding and subtracting fractions, you need a common denominator. So we got to figure out something. I'm going to bring down the minus sign. That's going to, these cancel out, give me a denominator with 9. I need to change this 16 to a fraction. That's going to give me a common denominator. This common denominator has to be a 9. So you can think of it one or two ways. You could say, all right, what's 16 times 9? Or if you're really good with division, you can think to yourself, all right, what divided by 9 will give me 16? Now, most people in the known free world, well, I guess we can call it free for right now, we can multiply 16 times 9. And 16 times 9, thank you, Michael, gives me 144. So if I think of it in reverse, 144 divided by 9 will give me my 16. Okay, good, Pog. Thank you. Okay, so we're not cross-multiplying. We're going to be solving. Okay. So now that we have a common denominator, we're going to stick with it. My denominator is still going to be a 9. But now I have my negative 55 minus my 144. And I'm going to be truthful. Not tonight. Okay. So since we are subtracting, but they're both the same signs. When they're the same signs, you're basically adding and keeping the signage. You're keeping the negative. So 55 and 144, that gives me 199. Yes, I do. I do private tutoring. Yep. Let me know what you need. Yes, and it will be a negative. Good, Janice. It'll be a negative. Good, Michael. Good. Just clean. Okay. Make sure it's a negative, but it'll be a negative 199 over 9. Now, because we subtracted that negative 55 ninths on both sides, that let our B be open. This is going to be our y-intercept. I know it looks crazy, right? It looks crazy. And especially if you want to do graphing, this is the rules I always say. Leave your slope as a fraction, but make your y-intercept a decimal. The reason why I say that, it's easier to kind of estimate a decimal than it is a fraction. So if I want to, I can actually divide those things, and I'm going to do the switcheroo. So B is going to be approximately, because I'm doing some rounding, negative 22 with my ones repeating. So if I were to plot this as a point on the grid, I can say, all right, it's easier for me to figure out where negative 22 will be versus where's negative 199 ninths, right? So, no, it doesn't, because we're not, no. Okay, good. All right, definitely, Jacqueline. All right. Yeah, you can DM me. That's fine. And I'll search for it tonight or after the live. So, you found the slope. We found the y-intercept. So all we have to do is put it together to get our equation. So let me slide in there. So, I don't know why I'm all over the place. So our equation is going to be y equals my slope, which is negative 11 ninths, x, and then my y-intercept, which is a negative, you can say negative 199 ninths. You can leave it as a fraction, or you can put the decimal in there. Sorry, my copyright's in the way. I gotta put it there. All right. Okay. Y was negative 55 and negative, not positive. Good. So originally it was a positive 55 ninths. But for me to move it from one side, the equal sign, to the other, I always have to do the inverse. So the inverse of positive is negative. And the 16 was negative originally. So just because we're changing it from a whole number to a fraction, it still keeps that value. It still keeps that negative. So that's why both of them were negative instead of not staying positive. Okay. Okay. All right. Hey, C4, how are you? Is that a hi, or is that like you got a question? Okay. All right. Good, Zach. All right. Now, as promised, you're like, but do we get the same answer if I use the other point? Now, you can follow along, and we can go step by step. Okay. Where did I get my notes? I created these notes. Okay, they are on sale, and I am self-published. Okay, yes, changed my links. I have my own online bookstore. It's called Books by Audrey Codner. I am so proud. It's called Books by Audrey Codner. I am so proud. I might start crying. So yeah, found a place that can do it. Oh, what's going on? All right, all of a sudden my things got on there. Yay, thank you. Trust me, it was craziness. All right, cool, Jacqueline. Thank you. I'll take a look at it once I get done here. So yeah, I got sick and tired of all my students not having notes, didn't know what to do with it. So I designed all this. And on top of it, we have a factor sheet. So factor sheet, if you ever want to break down radicals, if you want to break down quadratics, okay, all their factors are on there. You can also use it to help you multiplications. I go from 1 to 200, as well as other things to help us, like the rules of integers, okay? Adding with some examples, subtracting with some examples, and at the bottom, multiplying and dividing, right? So yeah, I just wanted to really design a notebook that was really geared towards math students, and especially older math students, because a lot of the notes that we look at nowadays are either for journaling or for elementary school age kids. So this is really for people from 7th grade and up. So I'm working on my next one to add a few more resources. But I have a lot of the resources, the basic ones to get you through, as well as a couple brain breaks. So yeah, and so it keeps it nice and clean. You got your formulas on one side. This is book 4. And there's like 3 covers. So this is what we did the other night with completing the square. So you can have your formulas and then you can write your steps down here. So it'll be such an quick and easy way for you to get your answers. And right now, books 1, 2, and 3, which I called Audrey's Notes, are on sale. They're also in a link in my bio. So if you want to buy my notes, you can buy my notes. Okay, and all you have to do is just go to the link in my bio, go to my website, and where you see Audrey's Notes. The bundles right now are the only ones that's going to be digital. I know, I'm working on that. Everything's a learning process. But you can actually buy books that has individual books for books 1, 2, and 3. They'll have all my notes from when I started doing TikTok Live since February 5th. Okay. All right. Yes, so this book is on my page. This one we haven't completed, but books 1, 2, and 3 is definitely on my page. And if you want to buy your own, that's the Ultimate Math Notebook. That's the one that's also on there as well. Yay. So we're getting there. We're getting there. So I just want to tell you, this whole thing called business is a process. And I've been doing tutoring for 5 years, but I've been teaching for 22 years in the classroom. So various places, even at juvenile justice. So, all right. So, as promised, I'm going to use the other point. And the other point is -14, -5. So, again, the -5 is going to be my y. I'm going to put this up here just in case I need some room, which I probably will. Our slope, again, is -11/9. Our x in this one is -14 plus our b. That's what we're solving for. Okay? I know this is probably like, oh, this is a little hard. But think of the process. The process is exactly the same, regardless of any points in any slope. Okay? Don't let fractions freak you out. You're like, oh, too late, Audrey, I'm freaked out. Well, stop it. So now, we need to multiply. I want to change this -14 to a fraction. So I'm going to put it over 1. Okay? It doesn't change the value of the negative 14. It's just there to help me doing the multiplication. So a negative times a negative will give me a positive. 11 times 4, whoa, got a little crazy with this, gives me my 154. And 9 times 1, not to insult you, gives me 9. Bring down the plus b. Bring down the negative 5. Are we okay? Yes, Zach. So negative 11 times negative 14 will give me a positive 154. All right. Okay. So now we want to isolate our b. That means this negative 154 ninths, I know you're going to be tempted to make it into a mixed number, but hold that temptation inside, okay? It's like when you go to a public event, you're like, I wonder what it would be like for me to streak. Just hold that temptation inside, okay? So we're going to subtract. We're going to subtract because it's a positive 154 ninths. So we're going to do the inverse. So we're going to subtract 154 ninths on both sides. So I'm going to put it over here, negative 154 over 9. So right here, we have our negative 5 because these two things, they cancel out. The reason why they're canceling out, they're actually giving me a 0, but I don't need the 0 because I still have a b on this side of the equal sign. So I don't need the 0 as a placeholder, okay? If I need it as a placeholder, I would put it in, but I do not because I still have my b. But we need to change this whole number of a negative 5 to a fraction that has a 9 for the denominator. Because when you're adding or subtracting fractions, you need to have a common denominator. So we can think of it one of two ways. We can either say negative 5 times 9 gives me blank, or we can say what divided by 9 gives me negative 5. Okay, so Michael is saying negative 45 ninths. Do we agree with them? Okay, thank you for the follow. All right. Okay, good. C4 has got me. Michael, of course you got me. Yep. All right, Miss G, good. All right, we're good to go. Okay, so this gives me negative 45. Now, both of them are negative. Okay, exact same number. If they're both, not same number, but same sign. So if they're both negative, that means we're going to add them together. So if you have your 154 plus your 145, both of them are going to be negative. Look what it gave me. Ooh. And that's going to equal B. Okay. There you go, Miss G. Someone else had it on there. I think C4 had it on there as well. Was there someone before C4? Okay. All right. So if you notice, we get the same B. So that means when I do the decimal, I'm going to get the same decimal. So the reason why I know I can easily make this so much quicker. I can easily just run with it and go blah, 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 right? But I don't, because I really want you to see where things are coming from. So when you get into situations, you can be like, all right, well, this kind of makes sense because I can do blah, blah, blah. So I like for you to see for yourself that it doesn't matter. So you're not having like life changes like, should I make this heads and this tails, and you're flipping coins and you're sacrificing chickens and you're hopping on one leg to say, well, which one should it be? And you're freaking out. Now you see that you're going to get the same answer regardless of which one you pick. All right? Okay, good. All right. So you want to learn how to do this? All right. Well, you're in the right place, Russell. You are in the right place. And if you need one-to-one tutoring, I do that too, because I'm losing a lot of my students because a lot of my babies are graduating. And I've had them for, most of them I had for 5 years. Only have 2 that I only had for last year. Yeah, last school year. So a lot of my babies are doing that. Okay. All right. So we're leading. So we did a lot with fractions. 1, I'm very proud of you. You were probably cursing at me in your homes, and luckily I couldn't hear you. So the ones that were participating, I know everyone's participating, which is awesome. Okay. So you want to graduate this year? Well, then let's do it, Janice. Let's get it done. Okay. All right. So the mere fact that you were working and you were following along with me with these fractions, I'm proud of you. Okay, just want to let that be known. Then the next thing, let's kind of take a look at it from beginning to end. All right, so I'm going to flip this over. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at a couple of slopes. And we're going to try to graph as well. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. Because a lot of people are just like, I don't know how to graph and all this. I might even take the ones that we got. You know what? I might take something that we already have. Okay, I'm going to try this one. And if you want to tap while it's set up, that would be awesome. I know some of you guys are like, girl, that's what I've been doing all this whole time. I've been tapping nonstop. Let me see. All right. So I wanted to do something a little profound. And of course, here we go. So let's say we have 2 points. So first point is going to be 1, 2. And the other point is going to be 5, 10. All right, so first thing that we need is our slope. So remember, you have one of 2 ways of finding your slope. Let me flip for a second. So we have, where is it? Okay, we have either the y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1, or we have y sub 1 minus y sub 2 over x sub 1 minus x sub 2. Okay, so you have a choice. Okay, which one of those equations you're going to use. With that in mind, this is your x1, y sub 1. This will be your x sub 2, y sub 2. Okay. Okay, try to find my slope. Okay, Zach. Zach, you did awesome. Trust me, I understand. It's close to that time. 14K, look at that. Wow, thank you guys. Actually, it's like close to 18 now. Round equals, oh. And see it through. Yes, you got this, Candy Girl. You got it. Roll up the sleeves. Okay, so we're seeing C4 and Hitch are both saying it's 2. Do we agree? Okay. Thank you, God is good. Thank you. All right. So let's take a look. If we want our slope, all right. So we want our slope. We have our change of y's over the change of x's. So for my 10 minus 2's and my 5 minus 1's, we can switch it up. Okay. 10 minus 2 gives me 8. 5 minus 1 gives me 4. And 8 divided by 4 gives me 2. Now, if you want to, as a true ratio, okay, because that's what slope is. There's a ratio. It's really over 1. Because the reason why I'm saying this is when we get into graphing, which is coming up, we need a rise over a run. So sometimes when you see that your slope is equal to 2, you assume, which is a good assumption, that your denominator is going to be 1. That's why a lot of people, when it's a whole number, they go up that whole number and over 1. All right? So if anything, we can leave it as 2 over 1, but remember, it's also 2 over 1 is understood when we just see an answer of 2. Okay? Because a lot of people are like, so where's the over 1 coming from? That's where it's coming from. Because 8/4 can be reduced by 4. Okay? Now, we need to find our y-intercept. We got our slope. Now we need a y-intercept. So this is when you get to pick one of the two. And I'm going to be truthful. I'm going to be lazy. I'm going to pick the first one. You know, there's nothing wrong with it, okay? There's nothing wrong with being a little bit like, I don't feel like doing all that. I still want to show my work. I still want it to be represented and accounted for, but make life easy for yourself, okay? So anytime you hear of the equation of the line, you're using this format, y equals mx plus b. Your m is what we found, which is that 2 over 1, or the 2. The y and the x is going to be the coordinates of whichever point you want. So I want this one. So my y is going to be the 2. My m is going to be the 2. That's the slope that we found. My x is going to be the 1. And then we have our plus b. The reason why we're plugging this in is to find that y-intercept. So now we have 2 is equal to 2 times 1, which is 2, plus b. Let's subtract 2 on both sides. I know. 2 minus 2, that usually gives me 0, but I don't need to put the 0 because I still have my b here. But 2 minus 2 on the left-hand side, I need to put the 0 because I have nothing left on the left-hand side of that equation, and I need to put something down. Okay? So when sometimes you get to those situations that both things are going to cancel out, but one's going to kind of cancel out, but the other one needs that representation of the 0. So my b is equal to 0. My y-intercept is going to equal to 0. So now, let's take it a step further. Okay, let's take it a step further. Oops. Okay, you're like, I always pick the first one. Okay, so now we're going to graph it. And this is where the fear starts setting in. Okay, one, breathe. We got this. All right. Yeah, I can do it like this. This is the other reason why I like, because I cannot stand when my graphs are so out of sync. Can't deal with it. All right. So now, this is going to be a positive 5. I always make my 5s a little bit longer than my other numbers. Helps me to find the numbers a lot faster. All right, so I'm counting by ones. When it comes to graphing, this is the part that throws everybody off. Where do you start? Everyone's like, I don't know where to start. Okay, I know I got to graph it, but where do I start? I got a 0, I got a 2. Do I start at the 2? Do I start the 2 on the x-axis or on the y-axis? I don't know where to start. So let me tell you. You always start with your y-intercept. Your y-intercept is your starting point. So that's where you're going to put your first point. Your first point is going to go right where the y is equal to 0, which so happens to be your origin. Now here's the little secret towards graphing. Make your points nice and large, just in case you don't make a exact. We're not perfect, okay? Okay, we'll try to make lines as nice as we can. Now, after you got your starting point, this is the next thing that you do. Remember our slope? Okay, that 2 over 1, that rise over run. We are going to start from here. So this is your house. You're giving directions to your friend's house. And he has to go up 2 city blocks and then turn right and go down 1 block. There's your friend's house. Now you want to pick up your other friend. Oh, guess what? Same type of directions. It's crazy, right? You're going to go up 2 city blocks and over to the right 1 block to get to that friend's house. All right. Now you can kind of see it. Some people, some teachers like for you to do like 4, sometimes 5 points for you to draw your line. Knock yourselves out. Do that. Okay? So we go like this. And this is your line. And the equation to that line is y equals my m, which is 2, or 2 over 1, x plus my b. Now, my b is 0. Do I have to put a plus 0? Instead, no. You could put a plus 0, okay? But again, exactly, it's not needed. Remember, 0 is a placeholder, okay? 0 is a placeholder. If you put the plus 0, is it going to cause some severe harm? Is someone going to hunt you down like Squid Games? No, okay? You'll be fine. But understand, when you don't see a plus or a minus a number, that means your y-intercept is always going to be 0. Okay, I'll say that again. If you got an equation of a line and you don't see a plus a number, plus a constant, or minus a constant, that means your y-intercept is going to be 0. And that's each and every time. All right. Had to follow. All right. Thank you, Queen. Oh, no. No, oh. No. I know where my heart is, and my heart is here. Okay. I'm going to be truthful. I'm not a huge mathematician. I'm just a person that learned math, learned to appreciate math, and now passing the word on to other people. Right? Because everyone just didn't have a great experience when this was presented. And plus, when we were younger, we just wanted to go play. We wanted recess. We dreamed of having like chocolate clouds, and we could eat chocolate all day and drink soda whenever we want. I mean, that's what adulting meant to us. We can have ice cream whenever we want. If cotton candy, oh yeah. Now, if we look at a cotton candy, blood pressure goes sky high. Just looking at it, you know? Straight diabetes, right? All kinds of stuff. Oh my goodness, right? Life is too short, right? So once in a while, you know what? Go ahead, get that Nutella. Yes. Get that Nutella. Just now you can have a Nutella all to yourself. Remember the very first time that you bought your own gallon or carton of ice cream? And it could have been college, it could be your first time in an apartment, or buying your own pizza. Like, how excited were you? Right? It was like the best thing in life. What happened? What happened? Why are we all of a sudden we taking things way too seriously? Right? We got to enjoy life, people. Everything I'm saying to you, I got to say to myself. Because sometimes we just forget. We just get so far into it. Let us see. Okay, let's try one more, and then we'll wrap things up. So let's see. Here we go. This is what I would love for you guys to do. Find my slope first. So the order pairs is going to be 4, 5. And 8, 3. So 4, 5 and 8, 3. Find my slope, please. See, Russell, that sounds so amazing. It's just something about me and nuts. I like my dessert and my fruit separate. Like, why are you ruining that strawberry cheesecake with strawberries? Like, put the strawberries on the side. Like, stop ruining it. Oh man, my dad used to love grape nuts ice cream. Yeah, I used to love grape nuts when I was a kid. I mean, I drowned it with sugar, but you know. That used to be my thing, and now my teeth can't handle it. All right, so I'm seeing 2s. I'm seeing a -1/2. Hey, Honeycomb, how are you? Okay. Janice, I'm seeing a -2/4. You could reduce the 2/4 though, Janice. You can reduce it. And Hitch is saying a -1/2. All right. Interesting cluster of numbers. All right. Okay. Any others? We got the 1/2. All right. So let's take a gander. So if we're looking at our slope, I'm going to put it up here. This is my x1, my y1, my x2, my y2. And as you get used to this through practice, eventually you won't need to do this step. But until then, till you start feeling comfortable, you know, don't be that parent that like, you got to learn how to swim, and you just chuck them in the water. Did he drown? Almost. No, nothing. Just go ahead. Let me see. All right. So we're finding our slope. And what I can do is the difference of the y's. Okay, so I'm going to do it the other way, the y1, y2. So that means it's 5 minus 3. And that's over the difference of the x's, which is 4 minus 8. So 5 minus 3, not to insult you, we got a 2. 4 minus 8, that gives me a negative 4. Because I have $4 and I want to spend 8, that means I'm short $4. Now, 2/4, it's still a negative. So if we reduce it, let's reduce it by 2. And when we reduce it by 2, we have a positive 1 over a negative 2. Now, if you did it the other way, you probably had a negative 1 over a positive 2. That's fine as well, because no matter what, it would give me a negative slope. All right? So we got that negative slope. Good. All right, so that negative 1/2. We're good? Now, we have our slope. We need our y-intercept so we can get our equation in line. You get to pick one of the 2 points to represent your x and your y value. It doesn't matter. Okay? It doesn't matter which one of those 2 points you pick. Okay? I'm going to be like Janice. I'm going to pick the first one. Okay? So my y value of that point was a 5. So there's my 5. Equals my m, which is my slope, which is that negative 1/2, times my x of the point, which is a 4, plus the b, and that's what we're looking for. We're looking for that y-intercept. Okay, all right. Bring that negative in there. We got it. All right. So now, let's just think logically, because they always, GED, ASVAB, they always put a question similar to this. It always comes out either just half of a number. What's half of 4? Okay, so Jack D, you got 7. Because half of 4 is 2, but since it's a negative, so we got a negative 2. All right, so we have our 5 equals that negative 2 plus b. We want to get b by itself, so we need the inverse of negative 2. Inverse of negative 2 is a positive 2. Whatever you do on one side, you must do on the other. So Jack, you are on the money. 5 plus 2, that gives me 7, and my b equals 7. Okay, yes, there we go. So now we got the 2 things that we need to graph as well as build the equation. So let me slide this over. I'm going to put my graph right smack in there as soon as I find yeah, I could put it right here. I'm going to put it a little bit low. And there's a reason why I'm putting it a little bit low, and I think you guys know why as well. Okay, so this is my x-axis. This is my y-axis. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, nice and long for the 5. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Oops. All right. So we have our y-intercept, which is at 7. We have our slope, which is a negative 1/2. Where do I start? Good. Okay. Bear carry. I am, but I'm really focusing on what I gotta focus on. Yes, there we go. Michael R. 07. Yes. Am I single? Divorced, man. I'm bitter. So you always start at your B. But just because I'm single doesn't mean that I'm not taken. The Lord's got me. Okay. So the reason why I drew it like this, Janice, because my starting point was going to be at 7. So here's 5, 6, 7. So 7's all the way up here. Okay, so I need to give that extension. So now, from this point, I'm using my slope. Okay, so we got a negative 1/2. So we can think of this one of two ways. And I'm going to write my slope one of two ways. It's either going to be 1 over negative 2 or negative 1 over positive 2. The reason why I'm writing it out twice, I'm going to stick the word or in between, is for this reason only. Starting at the 7, I can go up 1 and to the left 2 to draw my next point. Or, starting at this point, I could go down 1 and to the right 2. Okay. Notice those 2 points, and I went in 2 different ways. Still gives me points on that same line. Okay. Okay. Remember, it's going to be rise over run. Okay, so this one was going up 1, and this one was going to the left 2. This one was going down 1, and this one was going to the right 2. Okay, you got it now. Good. Okay, so you could, yep, because it's your rise over the run. Exactly. And then if you wanted to keep going, I can go up 1 over to the left 2 to draw another point. Or from this point, I can go down 1 and go to the right 2 to draw another point. And you can see it really clearly. Our equation of the line, or our line. Zoink and zoink. All right. Although we have the graph of our line, we didn't write the equation yet. So our equation is going to be y equals our slope, which is negative 1/2 x, and our b, which is plus 7. All right. How are we feeling? Oh, thank you. Thank you for the gifts and the tapping. My goodness, people. My goodness. All right. Well, thank you, C4. Nice. Okay. Why is it stressing you out? Janice, why is it stressing you out? You're welcome, Treaty. / reminder, like that. Okay. Thanks for sharing the live, C4. I appreciate it. Just plotting the dots. Okay. Okay, good. Lovely. Yeah, don't let it stress you out. Because it's like all about giving directions. Okay, it's all about giving directions. All right, C4, damn. He's like, sharing live. All right. But it's like once you find your y-intercept, you're using your slope to give direction to plot the next point. So you know how to solve for it. We just have to take it that one step further. Okay? So Janice, don't flip out. It's okay. Because here's the best thing. When you look at some of these exams, now the GED, the ACCUPLACER, the ASVAB, most of it's multiple choice, right? So the best thing is they might show you a graph like this and they'll say, what's the equation of the line? And they'll give you 4 choices of equations. And I'm hoping the place that you're going to look is not the whole equation. It's just the slope. First, look at the slope. From left to right, this graph is decreasing. So that means I have a negative slope. If you look at your answer choices and there is only one that gives you a negative slope, that's your answer. Click it and move on. All right? And all that extra time that you just saved just calculating, they don't care about the calculations, dear heart. I'm telling you. They just care about, did you click A, B, C, D, or some places E? Okay? Yes. So I know it's hard because we were trained to do everything to completion, which is great. That's what you should do. But when you're taking these type of standardized tests, you have to put yourself in a different position. It's completely different from finishing a test for a class. Okay? 2 different ways. That's the secret. So I just saved some of you guys thousands of dollars because that's basically what they're trying to teach you for the SATs and the ACTs, and all these different gurus are going around and they're saying, oh, there's a secret. Well, there's a secret. You have to put yourself in a different mindset when it comes to these tests. Okay? So you can't look at it like, oh, okay, I got the slope and now I'm going to find the equation line. No, you got the slope. Now look at your answer choices. Which one can I eliminate? Oh, I can eliminate A, B, C, and D. Oh, the answer is E. Beautiful. Click it. Move on. Okay. All right. Yeah. It's good to have to show your work. Show your work is good when you're in the classroom and you're trying to get your degree. Right now, we're trying to get you in so you don't have to waste a lot of money taking remedial classes that you're not getting accreditation for. And they're expecting a lot of people to either just take that class one time and give up, or be repeat offenders, which means more money in their pockets. Okay? I'm speaking as a teacher and also just a person that, hey, I took the praxis 11 times. 11 times just to be a math teacher. And I wanted to be a teacher. So guess what? Every time I took the test, I came home and signed up for the next test. All right. So this is like Algebra 1. Okay, so Algebra 1. So it could be 7th grade, it could be 8th grade, it could be 9th grade, but it's basically Algebra 1. Okay. Yep. I wanted to do it. That's what I did. And I have no shame in my game because I'm not perfect. But I knew that I wanted to be an educator. I didn't know what. And I sucked at math, so I don't know how. I became a math teacher. I really don't know. I just remember going to school and I went to speak to the math department chair at a local community college just to talk to her about what's it like to be a math teacher. And she was like, you're an African-American woman that wants to teach math. you are a golden ticket. It was like during that time, there wasn't that many African American women teaching math. There wasn't. Nope, there wasn't. So I want to say a pioneer, but that's great. How's this concept this year for 8th grade? Okay, good. And you love math? Awesome. Good. Yes, no problem. All right, exactly. What time to start the live? Yeah. Okay, I start my lives. I hope that's what you're asking for. And Monday through Thursday, I'm here at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And on Fridays at 1 p.m. And of course, Saturday and Sundays at 8:30 p.m. All the times are Eastern Standard Time. Now, summer is coming, and I will be offering a course because I'm going to be truthful. I'm going to use what I got to get what I want, because a lot of people don't normally do tutoring during the summer, especially the kids. As I said, a lot of my kids are graduating and moving on, which is awesome. That means I did my job very well. But I really want to keep teaching and educating during the summer. If you are starting a community college course this summer and you need some assistance, don't wait until the 11th hour to say, I need help and I got a final tomorrow. Please catch me early. I'm available. I'm going to be available 7 days a week during the summer. Some days, maybe not, like a Friday, I'm probably going to take off, but majority of the time I'm going to be available. But I will be offering a course, a live course, and I'm going to do it through Zoom. And I'm putting all the bits and pieces together this week, and I'm going to make the announcement next week. And I'm looking to start June the 8th. Okay, so I'm looking to start in the next 3 weeks, I want to say. And it's really going to hit hard on the basics. So a lot of the stuff that you need before you get into the community college, so you can feel comfortable with taking that course. And now you may not have to take a remedial course because now you understand a lot of those concepts better. And we're going to talk about, fractions, decimals, working on percents, doing a little bit of probability, as well as the linear stuff, finding slope, doing more graphing, taking it step by step, solving one-step equations, two-step equation, multi-step equations. So I'm really trying to hit hard on those basic concepts. So then when you start, if you do want to start in the fall, you can be an 8th grader, you can be an adult. I'm looking at doing possibly 2 different sessions, one during the day because some people can do it, and one at night. And that night one session will be at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I'm going to put all the details together. Don't worry, I'll be announcing it definitely sometime this week. And then if you're interested in my notes, my Ultimate Math Notebook, this is one of several covers. It is just basically like Cornell note inspired, just to kind of help you organize your notes, get your teens get into a fun, innovative way to organize their notes a little bit. You put your formulas here, and then you can put your steps. And here you can put your steps on how to find the equation of the line. We could do that here. All right, so you can use one side which is dotted, the other side which has the grids. In addition to this, we have, if you're not that strong with your multiplication tables, I have what's called the factor sheet. Okay, helps you with factoring or breaking down radicals, breaking down your factors in order for you to factor trinomials, binomials, and the like. So some of the factor sheets that I've seen goes up to 1 to 100. I go all the way up to 200. So this is just to really help support those 7th graders and up, anyone that's in Algebra 1 and up, because a lot of the notebooks nowadays are not designed for us. They're really designed for elementary school age people. Okay, so we got linear quadratics, order of operations. Then we have a little bit of geometry stuff, areas and perimeters. We have volume and surface area. Then we get a little more advanced with the Pythagorean theorem. I was doing a lot of that today. SOHCAHTOA, trig identities for my trig people and pre-calc people, and the unit circle as well for my pre-calculus people. And then when people get a little crazy, hey, no problem. Reel it back with a brain break. Sometimes puzzles kind of help us a little bit. So I have a couple of those and even one of these. Okay? And if you like pixel art, you got some room for pixel art or even sketching. So this is my math notebook. If you like to own my notes personally, you're just like, Audrey, I just like your notes. I have something called Audrey's Notes. So it is a collection of all my TikTok notes. This is book number 4. So books 1, 2, and 3 is on, alive, ready for publish, ready for your purchase. But what happens in Audrey's Notes, you get the exact same copy, okay? Copies of all my notes. Same in color, okay? Not black and white, in color. So if you notice, as we go through, all of them will have a QR code. So if you scan this QR code, it will take you directly to the live that's connected to these notes. So you can use those notes. And I forgot who it was that told me, who was homeschool parent. Was it Mary? I think it was Mary. Yes, okay. So you can use it for your homeschoolers, okay? All they have to do is scan it and they can follow along. Yes, the live is long, but guess what? They can fast forward. And if they like, wait, I didn't quite understand that, you can rewind it. All right, so you'll be at your disposal. So book 1, book 2, and book 3 is ready for purchase. Right now, the bundles are the ones that are digital. That's still on my website because I'm still trying to figure out how to do bundles with my new bookstore. All right, so that's Audrey's Notes, and then this is the Ultimate Math Notebook, and I do have one for your youngsters. Okay, this is for my 4th and 6th graders. Now, for them, I tried to make them a little bit bigger so they can keep up, and if you want, it can go younger as well. You know, I've actually had a couple of people had younger students to do this as well, so they can keep track of their units, so they can do their calculations a lot better. They still get the same resources, okay, just like with the older ones. They get the factor sheet as well. But then we talk a little bit more about fractions, okay? What is a denominator and numerator, definition of fractions, and some examples of fractions. Here's some samples of fractions that you can use for games for them. Then also going from percent to decimal, fraction to decimal, percent to fraction, all of those shenanigans, as well as the fraction operation. Then we got our decimal operation, place values, that helps out a lot, and long division. Trust me, people, teach your children long division, because as soon as this came into the classroom, long division just went kaplooey. All right, teach long division because they're going to see it later on when we start dealing with polynomials. Okay, and trust and believe, a lot of students do not know because they were never taught. Okay, then we have our order of operations, exponents. We have a conversion chart. That's useful. All right, area and perimeter. Then we have the same with the volume and surface area. And then the most popular words used in word problems, same thing as in the other side of the book as well. And an example of a written and solving word problems. And then they also have their brain break section as well as the rules of integers. All right, so that'll be kind of cool for your younger ones. It's a little bit smaller. Okay, a little bit smaller because we got compact kids. They don't want to have huge books. So it's just a little bit smaller, more compact, and you got the ruling. All right, so for those that are still here, are you tired of me yet? Yes, Long, long division. Yes. Yes, go ahead. Please order away. So now, just by chance, you want to see this live again. And you can. You don't have to wait until I finish book 4. It will be nice, but I understand. But if you want to watch the lives again, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel has all of my videos, even with the stuff in the notes. The reason why I put the QR codes with the notes is now you don't have to go searching all over the place. Like, oh, great, I got this note. Okay, where's the video that goes with it? I did that torture for you because I love you. Okay. All right. So when you get the subscribe to my YouTube channel, you'll see a playlist that says TikTok replays. I know it's really deep. And you can sit and you can watch the replays. Sometimes I do shorts, so you'll get like a small synopsis of what was going on in that video. Then, again, I told a couple people, and I'll tell you guys too, if you need private tutoring, I'm here. Okay, get ready for the course that's coming up. But if you want to get started on some coursework and you want it to be more on demand because you know your schedule is going to be all kinds of cuckoo Johnson, hey, I get you. Okay, I do have some on-demand courses for the GED, the ASVAB, also for foundational skills. This will work great for your homeschoolers if you just want them to get a little bit of something else and have a different voice in their head, right? As well as the ACCUPLACER. So it has some videos on there. There's some practice sheets that's connected to each of them. And there are some quizzes. So you can obtain that through my website, acgmathtutoring.com. You just click on the link in my bio and it'll take you straight there. And as I said, if you want any of the math notebooks, the Ultimate Math Notebook, or Audrey's notes, just go to Books by Audrey Codner, or just click the link in my bio. All right. Now, a couple of the people that I would love for you guys to follow because they are awesome and they could be additionally helpful in your journey. If you're thinking about doing nursing, follow a blessed RN. She was live earlier today. I'm not sure if she's still there, but just take a look. Also, if you need help with your TEAS exam, if you're trying to get into nursing, if you have help with the ASVAB and the GED, even though I do that, but remember, I'm only live for, 9:30 at night. You might want somebody earlier during the day. Okay, so you can go to my friend Miss Evelyn or Miss Taylor from Impact Math 19. She goes live at 1 p.m. Central Time, which is 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Then if you need someone that's looking for a chemistry tutor, Professor TK is awesome. Okay, she does go live on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Once in a while, she might just peek in the afternoon or evening, later evening. And then I think my friend Lynette is still here. Okay, if you want to learn how to add, subtract, multiply, divide using the abacus, you can definitely follow my friend Learning with Lynette. Trust me, she has like this midnight math and it's so much fun. And just how she breaks down these concepts, this would be great that someone's like a parent that wants to teach their child how to add and subtract, and it'll be a fun, interactive way. It could also help with someone that struggles with understanding what is 2 plus 3, So you have like those memes that are like, okay, if Johnny has 4 apples and one person took 1, how many apples left? And people would be like 5. You're like, no. So she can help break all those concepts down. And then the next person is my friend Nancy. She does reading and math for elementary age students. And if you are doing homeschooling and you need help with your curriculum, and this is your very first time homeschooling, you're like, I'm so sick and tired of the traditional way, definitely take a look at my friend Nancy. Okay, she's the online elementary tutor. She's on TikTok as well. All right. Not a problem. Okay, now I can breathe. I'll learn or relearn math. Oh, thank you, Michael. I appreciate it. I really do. Oh, thanks for the gifts, guys. I really do. I really do appreciate you guys. Some days you wonder, but I really do need some tutoring clients. Because I just realized, I was like, oh my God, I forgot this person's done, this person's done, this person did their ASVAB. Oh my God, this person did their ASVAB. So I was having almost a major panic attack. But I'm like, look, I gotta trust God. I gotta trust God, right? Like, what's there not to trust, right? So, yeah, I forgot myself for a second. All right, definitely, good. Oh, good. I'm glad you did. So if there is anything else that you guys need, I think I addressed as much as I could in a matter of minutes. I'm still working on TikTok Shop. They did reach out to me and now they're like, hey, yeah, you should be able to sign on. Okay, we'll figure it out. But for right now, I'm really happy with my books by Audrey because I can publish anything, as long as I keep it clean, of course. But I can just publish anything, and I think it'll work out really well. I like the setup of it, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes. All right. To tutor in August. Oh, yeah. Oh, I know. Usually I get flooded around October because the first couple weeks of school, people are like, I don't know if I need a tutor. But they wait until like March and then all of a sudden, a huge rush. Save my child. So, But yes, definitely I would like to be able to, I don't know, keep living my life and, I don't know, sleep in my house and not in the streets. I know it sounds so grim, but it's true because, it gets rough during the summer. It really does. But I like doing this education. But if you know of anyone that's interested in that live course, please let me know. And I'm going to get everything all set up sometime this week and start promoting all of that. All right. So nice. Thanks, Lynette. So I'm exhausted. You guys gotta be exhausted as well. So I will see you guys tomorrow night. We're gonna do a little bit more graphing, and we're gonna be looking at it. Like tonight, we looked at slope-intercept form. So tomorrow night, we're gonna look more on standard form. Okay, looking at our x and y intercepts. All right. If we have time, maybe point slope, but I'd rather do one concept at a time. All right. Good night, everyone. Good morning for others and good afternoon for others. All right. So have a good one. And if you need anything, please do not hesitate. DM me. Okay. Contact me. That's the only thing. I can't see smoke signals. Okay. All right. Take care. Bye now.